I think you're supposed to start these videos off with like a long sigh, or maybe that's apology videos. I don't really know how these sort of videos work. The regretful update video. I don't know if regretful is the right word, but sad, just sad update video. I don't know how those work. I don't really do them. I do a lot of update videos. I'm aware of the joke around that and how I make a shit ton of update videos on updates, which I a lot of time don't follow through with. But I feel like I need to say something about this because it's scary and it's going to affect things moving forward. As you know, I made my last update video not but like a month ago saying I was about to put a lot more effort into my YouTube and all that. I wanted it to be sort of like 2019 was like the year of my Twitch. I grew a community. It's a small community, but it's a community, and I put a lot of effort into it. I'm really proud of what I've made over the last year. I've seen a lot of growth, and it's been amazing. And I wanted to have a similar thing happen in 2020 with my YouTube channel. And that's what I plan to do. That's why I was gonna be putting a lot of effort into it. I've been working on a video and having fun. But now I don't know if that's going to be able to be possible going forward. If you don't know what's going on, there's this little thing called Coppa. I don't know if it's Coppa or Coppa, one of the two. The FTC has put this thing. Well, technically, it's already existed, but YouTube was just allowed to ignore it. But basically, if you don't know what's going on, there's this update to YouTube which makes it so you have to mark your videos as either for kids or not for kids, and that seems fine. But here's the thing, right? Marking your videos for kids is terrible for revenue, which doesn't affect me. I don't make money off of this. But you're not allowed to have comments. You're not allowed to have. I don't think you can have even playlists, which I don't even I kind of get where they're coming from with the comments thing. It sucks, but I don't know why you wouldn't be allowed to have playlists. You have to mark your videos for kids if they are for kids, basically, which sounds simple enough. But if you don't comply, you can get a big fine. The upwards value being $42,000. Yeah, $42,000. And here's the thing. This sucks for kids creators, right? But it also sucks a lot. Maybe not as much, but pretty bad for people like me who sort of toe the line, because I don't make explicitly mature content. I'm not talking about adult themes. I'm not like, that's not sort of what I do. I play video games. I make highlights of my video game playing. It's like not that mature. And the issue with that is the FTC can just randomly decide who is and isn't making child content. One example I like to bring up, which I don't really know what to do with, is my Pokemon Nuzlocke series. Do I mark that for kids? Do I mark it not for kids? I don't know. If I mark it for kids, I no longer have that community interaction, which is the thing that I love out of YouTube. And that's what I not having that would sort of really demotivate me from making anything, really. But marking it for adults falsely is really scary, because I don't know how the fine system works. I think 42,000 is like the upwards value. Like only like the worst offenders would get that. But the thing is, I can't afford fines of like any size, especially not right now. I can't really risk that. And it's like, if you watch those Pokemon Nuzlocke videos, you know they are not for kids. There's one of them where my chat is the whole time peer pressuring me to strip down naked. It's all in good fun and all, but it is not for children. It's clearly not for children. But because it is Pokemon, the FTC could just mark it as for children, and if I have it not marked as for children in my stuff, I can get in trouble. And there's been a lot of shitty YouTube updates, especially in this past year, like the adpocalypse and not suitable for all advertisers nonsense. And like I can't fully relate to that, right? Because I don't make money off of this. I'm able to sympathize and say, yeah, that sucks. YouTube is garbage. Which it is. This now directly affects me. YouTube for me, for the longest time, no matter what, and this has never been tampered with, has always been a place where you can just, anyone could just upload what they want for people to see. They're sure the algorithm might make it so your video is hard to find, or the shitty way that things get monetized means you might not make much money off of it. But at the end of the day, you are always allowed to just upload what you want and have people watch and have a community around what you make. But now that is sort of under attack and potentially not going to be true anymore. I mean, it won't fully be that way, but it's like I'm going to have a hard time being able to keep motivated making these videos, which I'm going to end up having to mark for kids, which means that I can't have people comment, which I know I don't even get much comments, but it's still like it's still like hard to justify to myself, because it's like I live for that sort of interaction. This past year on Twitch has been amazing because I've grown this community. Like I said, it's a small community. It's like 10 people, you know? But still, having these people who talk to me and like, and have gathered around this thing I made, it feels great. And like, while it's much less here on YouTube, it still exists. And like having that being taken away from me makes it so like it's hard for me to want to keep going. This is like YouTube. I mean, Coppa is a thing, right? But the way that the site changes are like what YouTube is doing. Like they didn't have to make it so you get completely fucked. That's a kind of part of the settlement deal as well, which you don't know if they had a settlement. They didn't. They could have just paid whatever they would have needed to pay for, like, you know, not following the Coppa law. But they settled for a settlement, which means that part of the agreement means they can fuck over creators. And yeah, that's how it is. And it just sort of makes me want to just do Twitch, because I cannot risk getting fines, and I don't want to have to selectively choose to, I don't want to have to alter my content, you know? I like playing Nintendo games. Some of my favorite streams are things like the Pokemon Nuzlocke streams or the Breath of the Wild streams, which I was planning on doing one of the bigger videos on. But now it's like, why would I do that? Why would I do that? Because I won't have people able to interact with it at all. They can watch it, and that's about it. It just sort of makes it hard to warrant keeping that going. With this Coppa stuff, it's gotten to a point where it's just like, this is not a healthy environment to work. I like putting together videos, and I think they're a nice thing to go alongside the stream as well, because not everyone can make all the streams, and having it all highlighted is nice, and people appreciate it. But going forward, I don't know if I'll be able to do that in 2020. These changes take place 2020, January 2020, the 1st of January. And if by then nothing changes, I don't know what's going to happen. And if I'm being honest, maybe I'm being pessimistic because it involves YouTube, and YouTube is, I have no faith in YouTube. When it comes to YouTube things, I always assume the worst, but I don't know if things are going to change. My money would be on no. They're not. Things are going to stay bad. If that's the case, I might just end up becoming a Twitch boy exclusively. I would end up archiving the channel, which means I would set everything as for kids and just sort of let it sit. And that'll be it. Which I know is kind of, it's sad for me. Most of my audience is on Twitch anyway, right? And like I already have a thing on Twitch. Why try to grow something in this toxic cesspool, which is YouTube, when it's just sort of like everything will be working against me? It'll be so much harder to grow anything when like you can't also have a community. Like, how are you going to grow a community when like the community aspect is completely taken away if you make child-friendly content? I'm just throwing this out here because I don't know what to do, and it kind of sucks. Yeah, I'll be releasing everything I have worked on and is like partially finished over the next month and a half, because this month's already like halfway over. Because I do have highlights that I'm making right now, because I'm constantly making highlights. That's why I do it all on my free time, because I enjoy doing it. And I'll be releasing those, but come 2020, January 1st, 2020, if things don't change, then I don't know if this YouTube channel is going to have much of a future. This ship is, it was sinking before. There were some holes poked in the ship. We have now rammed this ship like through an iceberg. We just Titanicked ourselves. Why would I want to stay here? I either have to stay here and make content that no one could interact with, or I have to stay here and risk getting fined because the FCC decides that just because Pokemon means little babies play it, because the FTC is run by like fucking old people who don't understand that adults can play like rated E games. It's all going to be run by an algorithm, which we know how algorithms are and how much they suck on YouTube. So it's just sort of not worth it to try to make things here when things are like, things have been going downhill. But now, like, the aspect that I care most about, the community aspect of this website, is starting to go downhill. Before, it was just the monetary aspect, which sucked. It was horrible. But now, with the community aspects going downhill, that sort of compromises everything that YouTube is, at least what it is to me. It's always been a place where you can just upload what you want, and the community watches it and says, haha, funny video. But now it's like, that can't exist. Or not as easily. Not without, like, a risk. And it's like, what am I going... I don't want to play only mature games. I don't want to completely move into a different genre, because this is the thing I like doing. And changing that just seems weird to me, because I don't want to make something that I don't want to make, because I've tried that. I've experimented making videos, and I know what I like to make now. And I know that if I try to make stuff that I don't want to make, I'm just not going to make anything. So why even bother? And like, this affects me, the gaming community. Apparently I've elected myself to represent the gaming community. But you know what I mean? People who play games that may not be like, you know, the most hardcore, gory shit. There's a lot of people who like playing Nintendo games who do not market to kids at all. I don't market to kids. In fact, I am under the belief, if you are like 8 or 9 and you have found my content, it's probably not for you. And like, it's just so vague, these rules and regulations. That's the issue. They're so vague that it's just we don't know what anything means. That's my biggest issue, is like, if I knew what I had to do in order to make it so I would not get in trouble with the FTC for making mature content and making children's content, if I knew how to differentiate myself and say I am an adult oriented channel, then I would just do that. But since it's so vague, it's hard to do anything. This is a shit show of the highest caliber, and I do not want to be here dealing with it. There's like a petition you can sign. They have left things open to the public to comment on. A little like go on their website and you can type out a thing. I ended up writing like a whole like paragraph, a whole wall of text. I meant it to be a much shorter message, but I just sort of got into it and kept writing. So you can do that. I mean it couldn't hurt, but I don't know. Maybe I'm being pessimistic about this whole thing. Maybe come a month's time, things will be completely changed in a way that makes it so things are more clear or they're less strict. But I don't know. That's all I really have to say. I don't really have like the only positive note I can leave this on is that Twitch and things on Twitch are going to end up getting a lot more attention put on them because that will be my sole focus. And it is sort of exciting. I'm not going to lie. The prospect of being able to fully go in on Twitch exclusively is kind of exciting to see what I can do without having this split focus. But it's still sad because I've had this YouTube channel for 7 years now. And I don't, just abandoning it is just sort of sad to me. Like I said, I'm not like going to delete the channel. It'll be archived. Everything will be put as child friendly just to avoid those circumstances. And that'll be it. If things don't change by January 1st, 2020, then this I don't know if I'll want to do this anymore. But it's been a fun ride. I'll release all the highlights that I have made. I have like a good couple. This has been a very depressing video. Yes, it has been. But it's been another fun Zach update video. I know you love those. So yeah, this time when I go back on my last update video, it's not because I'm a dickhead. It's because YouTube's a dickhead. I'll probably leave the petition and things like that in the comments if you want to sign that or send a message or anything of the sort. But yeah, this has been the press time with Zach Mandu, and this is gonna be me signing off. It's been a fun ride. Hopefully it doesn't have to end, but if it does, I'll be on Twitch. So see you there. Bye.